Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. We are continuing with the topic that speaks about how can the congregation be involved in church growth, how the role basically of the church, role of the congregation in the church growth. And that's what we're speaking about. And today we're dealing with part 3 of that topic. And I hope that will help you as you sit back and be attentive to this as we are teaching. Now, I want to speak about discovering and developing gifts. Discovering and developing gifts of the people that are in the church. Now, if we are going to get the congregation involved, if we are going to get every single member involved in the church, and we want the church to grow, it must be actually with intention. It must be something that we plan to discover and develop the gifts of the people. Now, if we read the book of Corinthians chapter 12, I want to read from verse 4 and down to 11. Chapter 12 of the book of 1 Corinthians, from verse 4 to 11. But let me just read just a portion of it. It says, "Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God, which worketh all in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, and to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another the gift of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another a prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another diverse kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues, but all this worketh that one and the self same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as the will." Wow. What a powerful scripture that we've just read. And I want to speak a little bit about church growth around this scripture. I've said earlier that when we speak about church growth, we're not speaking about only numbers, but numbers also matter in church growth. But we're speaking also about spiritual growth. And I want to emphasize that the more you have people that are spiritually grown, the more, because you can cater for more people and in different diverse spirits or diverse gifts that God has given us. Therefore, it will actually grow the church because of the gifts that are there. And I want to emphasize that it is very important to identify those gifts. Not only by the owners, but the leaders as well must be able to pick up certain gifts from some of the members. And if we are to grow a church, therefore, we must also make sure that we have nurtured the gifts so that the gifts are galore in the church. And everybody that comes to the church, their needs are being met. Because the more the gifts are operational in the church, one, it grows and matures the very same people that are gifted. And they mature spiritually and become articulate in what they are doing because they've got platform in the church to actually practice and articulate that gift that they've been given. So let them be given a platform, and that will actually enhance their spiritual growth. And we have seen that some gifts are upon young people. So therefore, even though people are young, they need to be given platform. They need to be given opportunity to stand up and speak even on the podium and upon the people and upon the congregation. Let them be given opportunity also in some other meetings like home cells, in other meetings like midweek services or even prayer meetings, because that's the only way you're going to get your people actually mature quickly when they participate and they become part of what is happening. We have said in the previous session that it is very important that people don't become inactive in the church. People participate in everything that the church is doing, because as they do so, they mature on their own. They become matured, and besides being matured, but they meet the needs of other people. Because with the gifts will touch other individuals. And we have seen that where the gifts are being given opportunity to manifest, the church grows much more quicker. Now, I want you to look at it this way, that as the scripture says, from the same Spirit, there are diversities of operations. So therefore, everybody operates differently in the church based on their gifts. And their gifts, therefore, when they're being administered in the church, they are actually meeting the needs of many. And when people come that are new in the church, they know that their needs get met by God through the different gifts that are in the house. And when there are different gifts, therefore, and many people's needs are met, you are going to have more people that are coming. And they're going to invite other people, their own friends, their own relatives. They're going to bring them along. They're going to actually invite them and say, you can be helped. If it's a ministry of healing, you can be helped. If you are looking for ministry of prophecy, you'll be helped. If you're looking for the word of knowledge and wisdom, you are actually being helped in this particular church. Now, people will invite each other because they would have seen what God does in his work in the church, what God does as he operates through the people. Now, God worketh all in all, but the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal, because many people are going to profit out of this. And the gifts are not only to benefit the owner of the gift, but the gift is actually given so that other members can be touched. People that are not even part of the church, that are not even members, they're going to be touched by the gift. And guess what? Tomorrow, they're going to come. And secondly, you must know that they're not going to come alone. As I've said earlier, they're going to be inviting other people. That's what we call a word of wisdom. And word of wisdom, of course, the spirit of the word of wisdom, of course, would actually be attractive to people, because people would love to hear the word of wisdom. The word of knowledge as well has been seen to be attractive as well to many people that will come generally in the church. And as they come in the church, they, most of the time, remain and become members in the church, and you'll see the church growing. There's also the word of knowledge, as we have mentioned, that's by the same Spirit. But remember also that we have in communities that are very sick. We're having communities that are struggling with chronic diseases and sicknesses. Now, as the church has got people with gifts of healing, and you start ministering to them, and they get healed, they are going to get committed to the Lord that has healed them. They're going to get committed to Jesus who has healed them. And they would know that in this church, people are being used for the healing of the sick. And as they do, they would invite people that are sick to bring them over to the church as well. And that is how the church starts growing. And some come for miracles, and they will receive their miracles as they come. And as they do so, of course, they would actually invite other people. Now, we have seen with many churches that have operated in miracles, that have operated in all these prophecies and word of wisdom and so on. And people flock there. And as people flock there, most of the time, they've been criticized to be saying they are using some other powers that are not powers of God. But many times, we must also know that God is giving these gifts to everyone, all of us, so that we may be able to minister to each other. Giving to the members to be able to minister to each other. And that is the reason why many people will flock to that particular church, because they are knowing that God is actually in operation there. And all these gifts, they are touching different lives of people. And as I said, there are a lot of testimonies that people will share. And as a result, you will see the church growing quickly. And there's nothing wrong when the church grows, because there are giftings of God amongst the people. And they are touching lives of people in that particular church. And we may criticize, but the truth is, if God is in operation, the church will grow quickly. When we have got members that have got gifts and they've shaped their gifts and utilize them to minister to others, of course, the church will grow quickly. It's very, very important for us to emphasize that. Now, each member of the church has been given at least a gift to profit withal. And that's very important, that we start discovering these gifts and we start making people to discover their gifts. And as I've said, that some of the gifts are upon the youth. that may not even be aware that they've got a certain gift, but this is actually a responsibility of the older Christians to actually identify the gifts in our youth as well. Encourage them to operate in them. Provide them platforms as well so that they can be able to operate on those gifts. And as they do so, the church grows. And not only them as individuals, but they are able to invite other people that will grow in the church as well. Now, the problem has been that many have not discovered their gifts. And when you have more people that have not discovered their gifts, you're going to have a problem whereby the church doesn't grow because people are holding back. People are not able to actually operate in their gifts. As I've said, when people operate in their gifts, many people get helped. And as people get helped, then they remain in their relationship with God. They remain in the kingdom. And they want to be part of what God is doing. And therefore, when they know that their giftings are being identified in this particular church, many would actually remain, and the church will grow in that regard. Very, very important, and it is very key that as an individual as well, you discover or you identify your own gift so that you can operate in it. And because the gift is not for us, it is actually for other people so that they can be touched by our gifts and be blessed as well because of that. Very, very important that we emphasize that. And I cannot ignore the fact that many people have not yet identified their gifts. Many are careless and none committed about their gifts and none participating about their gifts. Even those that have identified their gifts, but they may sit back and not participate. They may sit back, not administer those gifts, and that is being careless. And that is the reason why you'll find that the church doesn't grow, because people are holding back with their gifts. And therefore, they actually don't realize that the gift is from God to minister to other people. Church growth will happen when each member of the church discovers their gifts. When each member of the church know what God called them to do, what God has given them as a gift, and they operate in those gifts. And as they do so, you're starting to see church growth. It is going to be very important that we do actually encourage people to discover their gifts and be able to develop them as well by constantly using them and being able to deploy those gifts in the midst of the church. And you'll find that everybody will benefit out of it. Church will grow in that regard. May the good Lord bless you. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus Phokane. Thank you very much for listening to us and be part of this great topic. We will continue with part 4 tomorrow, of course. And I hope you will be part of that and join us. But remember, our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane, Facebook page, Church Governance Solutions. Please like those pages. Make sure that you click notification buttons as well. You're notified when we've posted material of this kind. Remember also to visit our YouTube channel, Micornus Phokane. Please subscribe to that YouTube channel. Make sure that you're part of it, and God will bless you as you are. And there are many other materials that we posted there, and you will gain a lot and be blessed by that. May the Lord bless you. Allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.